Hello world, my name is Colton Ogden and I am joined today at Yale by
Michael.
and Michael, what application, oh also, by the way, we are joined by a third guest here. What is our third guest's name?
That's my young son. His name is Adam. He's only 5 months old.
Congratulations on that, and we're actually going to find out, this is actually relevant to your final project today. So what is your final project?
So my final project is an app which collects all the data you might ever want to analyze about your baby and how much is he eating, how many diaper changes do you need per day. Believe it or not, it's super important for pediatricians. Whenever your baby is crying too much and you want advice, this is the first things they ask you about, so you have to have it at hand, available all the time.
And this is the kind of data that you're typically taking track of multiple times every single day. And so doing it, even the process in and of itself can be tedious, but you've written an application that sort of helps provide this information to your pediatrician, is that correct?
That's correct. And believe it or not, it's super funny how simple things make your life easier, and also like how simple things are difficult to do manually. Like the pediatrician asks you about, like, on average, how much is he eating per meal, and you'd never know that because you just have a stream of numbers.
Right.
So it's very important to have access to that like straight away.
And your application actually does the analysis of this information as well.
That's correct.
Okay, let's take a look actually at your application. So this page here, I think we went to one of the side pages. Do we want to go to maybe the main page?
Yeah.
Here, I can, since you're holding your son, I'll maybe steer for us a little bit here. So the application is called Baby Note.
That's correct. And my wife came up with an idea.
And your wife is actually here with us today. What's your wife's name?
My wife's name is Kate.
That's awesome. And congratulations, both of you, on your new
Thank you.
child once again. So this is the homepage here of Baby Note. Is that correct?
Correct.
And so this is all the data that we have, all of the sort of the analysis of the data for your son here. Is that this information for him? Or is
It's
this
not
mock
for
data?
him. It's just
Some mock data.
It's just random numbers. Yeah.
But this sort of at a glance, it's kind of like a dashboard. It lets you see sort of all of the different data that your pediatrician would be curious to know over the course of time. So there's different sections here. You want to explain some of these sections?
Yeah, so this section is essentially forms which you can use to we can
let you drive if you want at this point.
to put in the data. So for instance, let's say you want to put the information about your diaper change. So the way it works, it's just the system automatically plugs in the time data for you.
Oh, that's convenient. Very convenient.
Yeah, I thought it would be a useful feature. I have different times on my computer, so that's why there's a different time. But it's 25 past 1 p.m. here. And then the only thing you have to select is like the diaper, what it was. Like, was it wet, dirty, or both? So let's say it was wet. I click submit.
Super optimized process.
Yeah.
Features that your pediatrician is sort of
Exactly.
minimizing for you.
And the record is just added here.
Okay.
And it will be on day-by-day basis. So for instance, if you want to add another one, you just, let's say I add another one, you click submit, and it's again, you have 2 per day, so it's on per day basis. This is something really important for the pediatrician.
Okay, I see that. Let's look at some of the other categories that we see up at the top here. So we have breastfeeding, bottle feeding, pumping.
Exactly.
All things that the pediatrician is going to care about.
Yeah.
Making sure that you're taking care of the baby, appropriately, giving it certain statistics.
Yeah, so breastfeeding, for instance, like you can, what time did you start, what time did you end, how long was the session, what was the position, when you held the baby. For bottle feeding, I think this is one of the most important things because this shows how much baby is actually eating. This is something you can measure. You can't really measure the breastfeeding, the amount itself, but only time. But for bottle feeding, you can also measure the amount he's eating, and it's super important that you keep track of it, so that to make sure that baby doesn't get jaundice, for instance, when he or she doesn't eat enough. So, for instance, you can choose. Okay, let's say that my session took me quite a long time, and it was just only breast milk, and it was 75 milliliters. You click submit. It's like added. This is confirmation
Awesome.
for
Very
you.
clean design of the
Yeah.
website also, by the way.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the technology that you used to implement it. So what is your website built on? What did you use to implement the website?
It's built in Flask and using mostly Python. The database is in SQL.
Okay.
There are pretty complex SQL queries. Some of the analysis, the numbers analysis for this for the dashboard is mostly done in Python because I realized that it wasn't complex enough to employ some statistical package,
Sure.
but it was too complex for SQL query to handle.
Nice balance sort of in
So,
between. And
yeah.
it's nice to sort of leverage the tools that CS50 even uses for its finance piece, for example.
Yeah, exactly. And there are kind of like to make your life easier. Some things are pre-filled in the forms using JavaScript.
Nice. That's really cool. It's really cool to see you sort of use the same technologies but use it for a different use case. Very clean design. And you are actually from the business school. This was your first programming course, period. Correct?
That is very correct. That is very true.
We were talking about it sort of before. You going into the course, you had never seen any programming before, and now you come all the way from writing hashtags to the screen to implementing a full website that actually has a use case that's relevant to your life, which I think is really cool.
That is exactly right.
In a way that we don't really see from a lot of projects.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I can confirm that. I've seen that was the first time I've seen C. I started from printing hashtags on computer screen, and I ended up making my own app. So I'm pretty proud of myself, even though it was a bit of a stretch on my family as well. But I made it. I'm super happy.
Yeah, well, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Michael.
Thank
I really
you.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having the interview. Very proud of the work that you've done. And I'm so happy to see
Thank
that
you
as
so much.
a use case for your life as well.
Thanks.
My name is Colton Ogden. This was Michael with his Baby Note application, and this is CS50.